Right, people who live near Harlem Park, they're frustrated about the way they say they were treated in the days following Baltimore Police Detective Sean Suiter's murder.
They met with the city's Civilian Review Board to file complaints, and ABC2 News' Skylar Henry was at the town hall meeting and learned that it's a frustration that really kind of goes beyond the past few weeks.
Yeah, about 100 or so people filed into the church here earlier, frustrated with how they felt they were treated during the investigation of Detective Sean Suiter, at least the days during, and frustrated between the dialogue between the police and the community, and say it's a dialogue that isn't fair.
My heart goes out to Brother Suiter because I went to the funeral and I went to the wake, and so I met his children, and it broke my heart, and I met his wife. But so many children and so many wives and so many mothers have been in the same situation, and we have not gotten the same attention.
It's a shared sentiment for dozens in West Baltimore. What was the need for what people are calling an unusually large police presence following Detective Sean Suiter's murder, and why such intense policing? Kenji Scott says in the days after the shooting, he tried to get near Bennett Place. The area's officers blocked off.
The first question they asked me, what was I doing in that neighborhood? You know, and so that's what we experienced in that community as a result of what happened to that officer. I mean, our movement should never be stopped.
In that time, people say they were frisked, forced to turn over IDs, and questioned. It's why the city's Civilian Review Board held a town hall, curious to know concerns and frustrations.
Although everyone's sympathetic towards the officer, but people who have been living here for years, they were asking for their identifications and knocking on their doors, and I think people feel powerless, I think, is the word, and disempowered.
A feeling that isn't going unnoticed by the police department. While police explained they cordoned the area so the elaborate crime scene wasn't tampered with, BPD sent a statement reading in part, "The department understands residents' concerns and is looking forward to hearing from the residents who feel they weren't treated appropriately. But the review board, under the city's Office of Civil Rights, will hear the concerns first." Scott says this same energy should be put into every murder in the city because one killing is too much.
I live in Park Heights, and on my street alone, I've had 2 homicides in a matter of the last 3-4 months. And that's a problem. We don't see that level of policing, and we don't see that level of clearance as a result of that.
What's important to note here is that once someone files a complaint with the Civilian Review Board, that will then be considered by the board, and an internal investigation will happen, which will then go to the police commissioner for a final review. Reporting here in West Baltimore, I'm Skylar Henry, ABC2 News.